Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me the floor. Honorable Speaker, I would like to thank the Standing Committee on Health and Human Rights, on human rights matters and constitutional matters for their job well done, because they have given us good recommendations and observations that I believe will help us or guide us to do justice to this motion. Honorable Speaker, I don't have any objection in supporting this state of emergency, but according to some of their recommendations that I want the government to adhere to or to implement, that is observation number 23, essential commodities emergency power regulation 2020, which reads, the committee was of the option that commercial businesses should not be totally banned, rather the regulation should only restrict their closing and opening times. I want the government to implement this. The second one is the fourth recommendation, which reads, the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs and the relevant line ministries, example, health, trade, tourism, transportation, interior, etc., to work with the Attorney General and Minister for Justice to come up with compensatory mechanism to provide some relief package, the most vulnerable during the time of restrictions. These recommendations and observations are very important for the government to look into. Honorable Speaker, people should believe that COVID-19 is real. Is real, and we have to make a state of emergency at the moment. It is very important. If we look at Sierra Leone at the moment, they have declared 1 year state of emergency because they know the catastrophe that Ebola did in 2014 to their people. Thousands of people died because of Ebola. People in Sierra Leone or in the neighboring countries didn't believe that Ebola was existing or was real. People were saying that it's not true. WHO advised people to adhere to their guidelines, but people didn't care. If they have dead bodies of Ebola, they will say that they must wash the dead bodies. Even shaking hands, they will not stop to stop shaking hands with each other. So this was why the pandemic disease by then killed thousands of people in Sierra Leone. And in the Gambia here, we are doing the same thing. We are not adhering to the guidelines of the WHO. People are going to the extent of saying that God will punish all those who are in support of this, who are closing the prayers, mosques and the churches, praying places. No, I think it's better for them to read and understand the scriptures or their religious books. It's better. This is something real. Some people do even come and force you to shake hands with them. People are still gathering, drinking attire, 10 people drinking from 2 cups of attire. People are still going to football fields, playing. Social gatherings. We are ignoring these things, and this is very serious. We have to do sensitization, 100% sensitization, and 100% enforcement, which will make the state of emergency useful. If not, it will not be useful. It will be better for us not to do it. Sensitization and enforcement should be 100%. It should be 100%. So, for me, we should learn from the catastrophe that diseases like this did to some countries. This is more deadly than Ebola. This is more deadly than Ebola, and Gambia cannot contain this. Gambia cannot contain this. So we have to take the right and correct measures to ensure that the state of emergency will be very useful and will help the population of the Gambia. Honorable Speaker, I believe we have different opinions about the number of days, weeks, and months and the like. But I believe that we can still approve the 90 days, and then if we see that things are normal, we then revoke it. We have the powers to do it. So it's better than going and coming again. It's better than going and coming again. So we can do it to make sure that this thing will not disturb us. Because if it happens to affect so many people here, it will be a catastrophe in the Gambia. It will be. Western people who have the financial muscles, the facilities and amenities cannot contain these diseases. If you watch televisions, if you look at the social media, you will see in Western countries like America, Italy, all hospitals are full up with patients. 800 people or 900 people dying every day. Do we have those hospitals here? There are some constituencies that don't even have a health center. Talking of a hospital. So I'm appealing to the government to take the necessary steps and adhere to the recommendations and the observations of the committee. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.